Imagine this, you're sitting in your bedroom on the second story of your home, alone, and all of a sudden you hear one of the downstairs windows break. You immediately shut your door and listen to two intruders ransack the downstairs. And a few minutes later, you hear the footsteps coming up towards your bedroom. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and just close the door and hope they pass? Or are you going to confront them? Now, if this situation was going on in my home, it would be completely different. I would go to my bedside table, grab my 9mm, and slowly go downstairs to confront them. I would think that they would run out of the house fearing for their life. According to recent surveys, 52% of Americans say protecting gun rights is more important than the 46% of Americans that say gun control ownership is more important. Also, Americans as a whole believe that having a gun in the home makes it a safer place rather than a more dangerous one. Today I'll be talking to you about gun control and the reasons I believe that the current gun laws in place are too strict and not effective. I'll also be sharing with you the reasons that many people believe that we should have stricter gun laws and why these beliefs are incorrect. By the end of my speech, I hope that you will be able to understand the truths regarding gun control and will be able to make a more informed decision in the future when faced with these questions. Here's a preview of what I'm going to be talking about today. Myths versus facts of gun control, how murder rates decrease as concealed carry increases, and the consequences of current gun control. Now that you have an idea of what I'll be speaking about today, let me now explain in more detail about the myths and facts regarding gun control. First of the three myths that we have, guns are not effective in preventing crime against women. When in fact, when women are armed, only 3% of rape attacks are completed compared to the 32% when they are unarmed. Also, another myth that's out there, only police should have guns. When in fact, 11% of police shootings kill an innocent person when only 2% of citizens kill an innocent person. Last, private ownership of guns is not effective in preventing crime. When using guns in self-defense, only 91.1% of the time, there's not even a single shot fired. Now that you know a little bit about the myths and facts, let me tell you about murder rates compared to the carrying of concealed weapons. This graph shows how murder rates decrease as concealed carry increases. As you can see here, the murder rates are just under 600,000 starting in 1998. And as we go across to 2014, you can see them drop as the concealed carry people rises to just over 500,000. During this study described in this graph, there's also noted that concealed carry has grown a tremendous degree in recent years as crime is dropping. The study notes also that the murder rate and overall violent crime rate in the U.S. has plummeted 25% from 2007 to 2014, as the concealed carry rate has grown 156%. Also, the murder rate and violent crime rates in constitutional carry states is a lot lower compared to the ones that restrict concealed carry a lot more. Now that you know the murder rates compared to carrying concealed weapons, let me tell you about the consequences of current gun control. Recently, the consequences of gun control have been devastating. Let's think back to Sandy Hook Elementary shooting, the Virginia Tech shooting, and the most current Armed Forces Center shooting. When you think back to these, you see all three are gun-free zones. Now, when it comes to the public schools, I think that administration should have at least one person in the office that has access to a firearm. Because in this situation, public schools are shut down, and the only way in is through the office. So that's exactly what happened in that situation. The man went into the office and killed everybody in the office. Now, if someone would have been armed, that would have saved all those kids' lives that died that day. And also with the Virginia Tech shooting, I think if the students that have their concealed carry permits should be able to have their guns on them, and that could also, it won't prevent a lot of the tragedy, but it will, help save a few lives, if not limit it to very little. And as for the Armed Forces Center, that is kind of retarded to me, because why are our military not able to have their own firearms on them at their own, whether it be recruiting stations or their own base. It would make a lot more sense that they be able to defend themselves. I mean, after all, they're here to defend our country. So what can you make sure that your family is, so what can you do to make sure that your family is protected in the future? How many of you are going to go purchase a gun in the near future and receive your concealed weapons permit? Who will support the fight against gun control, whether it be financially supporting existing petitions or personally writing letters to legislation?
Get through it.
So the choice is yours. Do you prepare to defend yourself and your family, or hope nothing bad happens to you in the future?